Patchwerk. In Abo Wing, third wing, we're gonna address Patchwerk, a straightforward fight, pretty easy to execute as long as you have the DPS and the tanks for it. What are his abilities? Hateful Strike. No one in the raid has to worry about this except for the tanks and the healers. What does it mean? He will do a base damage of 22k to 29k, which will be an average hit of 8k on a tank in defensive stance. So this will not hit the main tank, but it will hit the second highest HP pool on threat list nearby in melee range. So basically, if you have two tanks, then one tank will take it, and one tank will be main tanking the boss, the normal gear, which are the normal melee hits of 1800 to 2700. He's a Berserker 7 minutes, where he will hit very hard and basically kill the raid, and at 7:30 minutes he will shoot slime bolts to avoid a kiting strategy. Also, he has an enrage of 5%, at which you need to pop cooldowns to get to burn through him. That's basically everything. These are not even abilities; these are just normal things. It's just the hateful strikes that are that need to be managed. How do we do this? Well, basically, we're gonna position the boss near the slime. All the melee is gonna run in the slime. What does the slime do? The slime basically reduces your stats for the time you're standing in the slime. So basically, you walk in the slime, all your stats get reduced, you run back out of the slime, and your stamina will have gone down, which will have made your HP gone down to about half. You will gradually heal it again, but healers should not heal you. This way you always stay at half HP as a melee, and you will not get targeted by the hateful strikes. As we'll be running 4 tanks, we're basically going to have 1 tank main tanking and 3 hateful strike tanks. Why? Because the hateful strike is applied every 1.2 seconds. So if you only have 1 off tank, then 1.2 seconds, that means that hateful strike tank needs to be spam healed. Well, if you have 3 off tanks doing the hateful strikes, it basically means you have 3.6 seconds between the first tank getting hit, then the 2 ones getting other getting hit, and then him getting hit again. We assign healers to those 3 tanks, and of course the main tank. Main tank just tanks the boss. The 3 healers that are the healers that are tanked to the 3 off tanks will just have to top off their tank as they get their hateful strike. So in a perfect world, that would mean first one gets a hateful strike, 1.2 seconds pass. The second one gets a hateful strike, and meanwhile the healers of the first one are healing him to full. Third one gets a hateful strike, because and then the ones of the first off tank and second off tank are still healing their tank. After the third one got it, the first one should be topped off again, so to full, which means the first one gets its hateful strike again. This is not going to be in like a perfect order. This might end up in 2 tanks taking the hateful strike because they got healed to full faster, and the third one being a backup. But that's just fine. It makes the fight a lot more easier. Other than that, it's just burn through the boss. And make sure you aren't higher HP than any of the tanks by going in melee range as a Ingdugu as a melee and staying under the tanks as a ranged. To show you off this fight, so they pull. I'll be honest though, in this video I don't think the melee. Oh yeah, they did. See, the melee are all at half HP. They went into goo, they came out. Their stats are back to normal. They will not do less damage, but their HP will stay at half. Healers don't heal them, so they always stay underneath the tanks. In this video, I think they're only using 1 hateful strike. No, 2. Sorry, they're using 2. But if you're 4 tanks, you want to have the 4th as a backup, basically. So this is the main tank, and he switches to the off tank hateful strike. Hateful strike again. See, it's pretty fast. Hateful strike. You will sometimes parry some hateful strike, hateful strike, hateful strike. So see, hateful strike. They're really fast. So it's just a matter of keeping your tank at high HP before we hateful strike someone else. This being a melee. That's why we're gonna use the 4th tank as a buffer tank. If the healers weren't fast enough on healing up the 2nd or the 3rd off tank, then the 4th one will get it. But by that time, the other 2 should definitely be topped up. Healing the main tank really doesn't seem like an issue. Again, it's just a fight where you need to make sure that the healing assignments are properly like properly done. This carries on like this. There's nothing that changes. People stay at low HP as a melee. Range takes underneath the tank on threat, and casters just make and healers just make sure their hateful strike tanks stay up and the main tank stays up. So after a while, because this fight takes a while. There we go, 13%. As you see, one of the hateful strike tanks is already dead, and the main tank even as well. That's what happens if you fuck up the healing. So he's going into 5%, and at 5% he basically will enrage. Tanks will have to pop a cooldown. At the moment it's already a rogue taking the hateful strikes. 3%. At this point I think all healers are pretty much and all tanks are dead. Now it's just gonna go on a kiting spree and they're gonna finish him off. So the end of this video here is of this video I'm showing is not really proper as it's not well executed, but if you keep your tanks up there should not be an issue down in this one the normal way. Fat loot. That's it for Patchwerk. If you have any questions, suggestions or anything else, please let us know.